The federal government has expressed hope that Nigeria will make progress in the face of the numerous economic constraints and challenges currently bedeviling the country. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo, who affirmed this during the Presidential Quarterly Business Forum held at the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa, Abuja, said the meeting is in continuation of government parley with members of the organized private sector on how to further create a conducive environment for business to thrive in the country.
If you look at the size of our budget, it's clear that if our economy was to depend on the size of the budget, we certainly wouldn't be going very far. But it's the investments from the private sector, which of course means that the private sector must be confident enough to invest, that really is able to move the needle for the Nigerian economy. So again, I want to thank you for your commitment and your partnership.
And I think that we also can make progress despite our constraints. The way to do it is simply what India and any other country would do, is a commitment to ensuring that we incrementally make this progress. And that commitment must come from government and must also, of course, come from the private sector. What we have done is that we've identified certain critical things that must be done. We know that there are certain things that if we do them, we will move the needle without any doubt whatsoever. And those things are, one, just as a general thing, stabilizing the macroeconomic environment. Second, energy sufficiency, power and petroleum, and we've heard quite a bit from both honorable ministers of power, works and housing and petroleum. Improving transportation infrastructure, achieving agriculture and food security. On each and every one of these items, on each and every one of them, certainly progress is being made. And of course, fighting corruption, controlling government expenditure, controlling leakages and all of that. On every one of these items, progress is being made. When Mr. President launched the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, sometime in April, one of the things that he emphasized was the fact that we have made up our minds as to where we're going. We think that we have the discipline to be able to do so. But this is a complex environment, it's a complex economy. But for once, and I think that we must trust, and I think that to a certain extent we must trust the government.
Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun, speaking earlier, urged the private sector operators to support the drive of government at generating additional funds through taxation, as the size of Nigeria's budget is becoming really small for a robust economy.
Really, our budget size is too small. And what does that mean? It means that we can pretty much only pay salaries in some cases, and we don't have money to actually deliver essential services. There simply isn't enough money in government to do what government should do. And I'm sure you will all say that's because people are stealing or because you're wasting money. And I'm saying even if you plug all the stealing and all the waste, the budget size is not big enough. And that's because we're not paying enough in terms of tax.
Participants at the forum appealed to government to fast-track plans at making the business environment more friendly.
Well, my impression about it is simple. Government shows commitment. Government shows, it is important to embrace the private sector. Because without the private sector, government cannot do it alone.
Economic watchers are hopeful that the continual discussion between government and the organized private sector will eventually translate into more jobs for the people. From Abuja, I am Festus Ejiroga Nefifen for Ben Television.
The National Assembly has passed 7 legislation into law, prominent among which is compulsory treatment and care of victims of gunshot bill. This followed the presentation of 9 bills to the Senate for concurrence from the House of Representatives. The bill found out to make provision for the compulsory treatment and care for victims of gunshot and other matters connected therewith. It will give unrestricted access to medical service by victims of gunshot, as well as strengthen the legal provision and guarantee people's fundamental right to life and dignity of their persons. A legislation with 18 clauses, the bill covers all aspects of gunshot injuries, and the circumstances hereto, if signed into law, it will make it mandatory for medical facilities to attend to individuals with such injuries without recourse to police report or approval for the purpose of saving lives. However, immediate notification must be made to the police regarding such cases. The other bills are Animal Health and Husbandry Technology Bill, Corporate Manslaughter Bill, National Child Protection and Enforcement Agency Bill, National Intelligence Agency Pension Board Bill, Nigerian Academy of Science Bill, and National Postgraduate Medical College Laboratory Science Bill, among others.
To lead the debate on the following bills from the House of Representatives for our concurrence. The bills are: 1. Animal Health and Husbandry Technologies Registration, etc. Bill 2017, HB 320. 2. Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act 2010, Amendment Bill 2017, HB 99 and 118. 3. Compulsory Treatment and Care of Victims of Gunshots Bill 2017, HB 119. 4. Corporate Manslaughter Bill 2017, HB 273. 5. National Child Protection and Enforcement Agency Bill 2017, HB 127. 6. National Intelligence Agency Pension Board Establishment, etc. Bill 2017, HB 842.
The Senate concurred to the 7 out of the 9 bills that came from the House of Representatives and referred 2 of the bill to its relevant committee for further scrutiny and legislative input.
A bill for an act to regulate the practice and to make provisions for Animal Health Husbandry Technologies Registration Board of Nigeria and for other related matters connected there with 2017 third reading. This bill is now read third reading and passed. For the compulsory treatment and care for victims of gunshots and other matters connected there with third reading. This bill is now read the third time and passed. A bill for an act to provide for corporate manslaughter to make corporate organizations criminally liable for death of employees arising from the acts of omission and for other related matters, 2017 third reading. This bill is now read the third time and passed. A bill for an act to establish National Child Protection and Enforcement Agency and for related matters, 2017 is read the third time. This bill is now read the third time and passed.
From National Assembly Complex, Abuja, Muyo Bamdele reporting.
Lovely place, right?
Yes.
What's wrong? You don't look happy.
Take a look around. Why can't my hotel be like this?
I knew something was wrong, but I've got solution.
Solution? What?
Nanet.
Nanet?
Nanet offers you design solutions, building plans and construction, furnishing and equipping, financing, management, audit services, and many more services for a better hospitality business. Nanet, service with a smile.
Consumer is believed to be the paymaster and boss in the telecommunications industry, and as such deserve respect, attention and the right to speak and be heard. This was the crux of the 80th edition of the Telecom Consumer Parliament, where over 150 million Nigerian telecom consumers were put at the center stage and celebrated as the holders of the key to the successes of the industry. The Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, Professor Umar Dambata, while addressing consumers and operators at the 8th edition of the TCP in Abuja, expressed gratitude to the consumers for responding positively to the communications revolution. Dambata, who was represented by the NCC's Executive Commissioner, Technical Services, Mr. Sunday Dare, said the Commission has kept its focus of ensuring that 2017 remains the year of the consumer, as all its initiatives such as SIM card registration, mobile number portability, broadband policy implementation, development of 2442 and 622 short codes are geared towards consumer satisfaction and protection.
Today's event is remarkable because the Nigerian telecom consumer is at the center stage. And we at the NCC, being consumer-centric regulatory organization, has decided to celebrate consumers from the Nigerian telecom industry this year, consistent with the 8-point agenda that I set out when I assumed office in 2015. The number 2 and 6 of the agenda are the core drivers of the NCC year of the Telecom Consumer Initiative. While number 2 of the agenda addresses improved quality of service, item 6 is concerned with protection and empowerment of the telecom consumer. Consumers have continued to spend a significant portion of their disposable income on telecommunication services as it continues to improve the quality of life, businesses, and social engagement. Let me declare that throughout my tenure, I will always put the consumer at the heart of my administration. I intend to be the consumer czar of the industry, looking out for and protecting the interests of the consumer always, without compromising the interests of other stakeholders in the industry. This is because the consumer deserves all the credits for the past and holds the key to future successes of the industry.
In his paper presentation, Barrister Ayola Oke from the RCT Derivatives noted that setting aside 2017 as the year of consumer is the commencement of focusing on the consumer as the principal reason for the existence of the industry. He pointed out that the industry agenda for the consumer is for the comfort, improvement, development, and prosperity of the consumer.
NCC brought a good regime into place, but if there was no consumer, there would have been no industry. Indeed, the revolution came, and there was, as I already mentioned, beyond expectation. There was a high response from the populace. So when we're talking of this revolution, like I already said, we're talking of the rate at which, the incredible rate at which consumers took up lines. When they do not address your complaint satisfactorily, or they not address your complaint at all, that is when you go on to the 622, and NCC has well-equipped call centers with people ready to take your calls. Once you dial 622, you will get through.
On their part, telecom operators who were present assured consumers that all hands will be on deck to ensure that the best services are rendered and consumers satisfied.
Of course, to increase the customer satisfaction. That is our mission. Customer is the first thing for us. And for us to drive at that, of course, we have to provide the service.
At Airtel, we have a zero tolerance policy to do this. We train all of our agents. I believe our agents are actually very, very knowledgeable. When you say they ask questions and you wonder whether we have a database, we have a lot of calls for fraudulent requests. So when they ask these questions, we're just trying to verify the identity or the ownership of the line. And they also ask these questions to better serve the consumer in the essence of the request that they have made.
We also take top priority in our customer satisfaction, which is also seen in most of the promos we run now. The customer is king. You recharge your card, your phone electronically, you get 8 times the value. You renew your data before it elapses, you get 100% value for it. We don't joke with our customers.
Awesome Raffle, Ben Television.
Nigerian Senate has commiserated with the bereaved family who were victims of the recent flood in Lagos and Niger State respectively and other affected areas. This follows a motion raised by Senator David Umaru from Niger East. The upper chamber therefore urged the federal government through Nigerian Meteorological Agency to intensify weather forecasts and other efforts in areas that are likely to be affected by the flood.
The Senate accordingly resolves to 1. Commiserate with the government and people of Niger and Lagos states affected by the weekend flood, aptly described as waters of sorrows, urge the federal government to send relief materials through the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and also support the affected states in any other ways to ensure that immediate repair and reinforcement of damaged infrastructure that could withstand future rainfall and pave way for the resettlement of all flood victims. 3. Urge NIMET to intensify its weather forecast with emphasis on translating such weather forecasts in languages widely spoken in areas that are likely to experience flood, thunderstorms, and other extreme weather conditions.
This country. And what has happened in Suleja is a clear confirmation of the fact that this is something that will require a much more robust, action from the part of government so that we can prevent the very unfortunate loss of lives and livelihood of our citizens. And I think even though the subject matter is a little bit, the recommendations are a little bit straightforward, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I think we need to really look at these issues from the actions that we have put in place from the legislative perspective, so that year in, year out, these problems, as we face them, we will have a robust mechanism for attending to the problems as they come.
Meanwhile, Senate President has called for relief drive in the affected area.
To urge the federal government to send relief materials through the National Emergency Management Agency and also support the affected states in any other ways to ensure the immediate repair and reinforcement of damaged infrastructure that could withstand future rainfall and pave way for the resettlement of all flood victims. Those in favor of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.